Yeah, so homeboy got released on OR. So yeah, we were hanging out, and he was telling me I got to stay sober because I got to go turn myself in. He said he'd been out for a while, and he knew they had a warrant out for him, and he knew he had a certain amount of time before he had to go in. You know, it was just dumb shit, you know, like open container. But he figured he wouldn't serve any time. There was a judge, everybody used to joke that she liked him. He was a handsome guy, you know. So he's like, you know, he says to me, hey man, can I borrow your jacket, man? I gotta look good. He got himself all cleaned up, and he was sober and got dressed up, borrowed my jacket. And I walked with him on down to the courthouse. But she let him go. So, you know, immediately we took a trip down to the liquor store. We got a couple 40s, getting pretty buzzed. And we were hanging out at the pad for a while and getting pretty drunk. So we decided, hey, let's go for a walk again. So we head on out. We were over there by Salvation Army where people just drop off donations, like in the middle of the night. It'll pile up. Some people just drop them off outside and they pile up. It'll be like old clothes and shit like that. So there's this couple looking at the stuff, you know? And homie was all drunk, you know. So he goes up to them and he's like, what are you guys doing here? Like that, like he's security or something. And in fact, that's what he tells me. He goes, well, I'm security here for Salvation Army, and we don't like people just kind of, you know, going through stuff out here, the donations. And I guess he shocked them because they took it seriously, like, what? Huh? You know, like, all kind of scared and shit. So they kind of left, and then me and him just kind of went walking a little more. We thought about going to the bar. So we run into that couple again, and they're like, I know you're not security here. You know, the guy was like that. I guess it must have hit him later. He was in shock at first, and then later goes, I know you're not security here. We're called the cops on you. So anyway, me and homeboy go up to the bar, this dive, and we go in there. We start drinking, and we're getting pretty drunk. This one dude is over there playing pool, really minding his own business. And homie decided that dude was talking shit, or I don't know what he thought. I think he's just making it up to get in a fight. And he walks up to the guy playing pool and goes, why don't you fucking shut up? You know, some kind of shit. And he grabs the guy, and the guy starts fighting, you know, wrestling with him. And homeboy just clocks that guy like, pop, right in the jaw. It doesn't, you know, the guy's tough, you know. Kind of doesn't do anything to him. My friend's like that too. You can pop him right in the face hard. It won't do anything. Plus everybody's drunk. So the bartender, you know, he knows all of us, and he's like, you get the fuck out of my bar, you know. And the bouncer grabs my friend and can barely get him out of there. My friend's fighting him the whole way, you know. And he drags him all the way out the door. And on the way out, I just follow my homie, you know, my homeboy right on out the door. And I hear the bartender saying, you're 86th, forever. Me and homeboy are walking up the street, and we're laughing hard, you know. And my friends all like, 86 forever. Which, by the way, didn't happen. You know, it took a while, but he eventually went back there. But we're walking up the street, and all of a sudden, you know, we can tell when cops are following us. They try to be nonchalant, but we know there's one of them kind of around there, you know, around the neighborhood where we're walking. And so homeboy's like, let's sit down right here on the curb, because he knows something's going on there. So we're sitting there, and of course the cop pulls up, you know, like they do, with their lights and whatever. And it's like they're asking us questions, and homeboy's like, you know, I don't know, we don't know, we don't know anything. And he goes, well, you know, we got different reports about a couple of guys like you that look like you telling somebody there's security at Salvation Army and harassing them, and then getting kicked out of a bar and all this shit, you know. And they're like, I don't know. We don't know about that shit. So I don't know why, but they didn't even call in, you know, like they do, like trying to check warrants. So we ended up going downtown and at the park, and we're drinking beer still. You know, we got cans of beer. We bought a whole case, and we were packing that all over the place. And we're drinking a beer there in the park, and the cops come in there, you know, different cops. And I don't even think they're aware of what happened earlier. And we're drinking the beer, and it's like, oh, you got to pour that out. You can't drink in the park here. So we're like, oh, fuck. So they make us pour out the whole case, you know. We're pouring it out, and this time they check for warrants, you know. So, and of course, my friend has warrants that he didn't know about, you know. He took care of that one. So it's so funny because he's so used to it, the routine, you know. The cop tells him, oh, shoot, man. Looks like you got a warrant. He's like, oh, okay. My homie's like, yeah, okay. And he puts his hands behind his back like it's a day at the office, you know. They handcuff him and take him in. When he's leaving, he's going into the car, the patrol car. He goes, yeah, contact my mom, you know. See if she'll bail me out or something. I'm like, oh. So that night, you know, I go to his mom's. It's the middle of the night, though. And I wake her up, and she's like, what are you doing? What's going on here? I said, oh, it's Hammy, you know. He got arrested. He's in jail. So I wanted to see if somebody could get him. She goes, oh, again? It's fine. It'll be taken care of, you know. She didn't, like, it happens too many times. She's not going to keep taking care of it, I guess. So he eventually gets out. It's not that long. He gets out. And we're hanging out, and he has a car for some reason, which he never has a car. And I'm trying to figure out, you know, how did he get a car? We're cruising around, and he's drinking. And we got, like, some other homies in the car. And we're all getting drunk, and he gets on the freeway and gets pulled over, and he got popped. You know, it's the DUI. He's all drunk. The cops take him away. They impound the car. And so anyway, he gets out, and the next morning, we're still drinking. And all of a sudden, his aunt storms into the house where we're at. We're at his cousin's place. And she's like, I had to get my car out of impound. And it cost me a bunch of money. And she's like, that's fucking it. And it's just pissed off. And he's looking meek and kind of trying not to laugh a little bit. But and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I guess he just stole her car. He took it. I mean, she lives all the way, like, in another town, another county. And I guess he was up there. And he decided he'd take the car. He said he'd be getting a pack of smokes or something like that. And just took it on down into the town and was cruising around in her car. So anyway, we go see his uncle. And we had what we had done is there's this place where we knew there was some beer. And we might have boosted it. I don't know. But at any rate, we had a bunch of beer. So we went to Ross's place. So anyway, we went up there and picked him up. And then we went up into the mountains where homeboy's brother lived. And it's like way up in the mountains, and there was a barn which had like a big window on the top floor. Ross was drunk. We were all drunk up there in the top floor of that barn, and Ross was by that window. It's one of those big windows, you know, where it's like full body size, you know. You could easily step right out of it. So he's standing there all drunk, and he falls right out of it. He lands down there on the ground, and we think, what the fuck, man? We look down there, and he's kind of sitting up laughing. You know, like, I guess he was so drunk it didn't do a fucking thing. Not to mention the guy's made of, I don't know, rock or something, you know. So anyway. So one of those guys grabs the car keys and says, I'm fucking going. I'm tired of this shit. He gets in the car ready to go, and one of the other guys, you know, Mikey, he's all like, what the fuck? So he jumps on the car, slams his whole body on the windshield, and caves it in. It's all cracked and smashed in. Still kind of intact, but it's all fucked. And that's Ross's wife's car. So he's like, oh, fuck. Anyway, all that started from my homie getting out on OR.